How you guys doing? This is very important in reference to the sex toy industry and in reference to my penis and my protection status. And, the situation is very important. The sex industry is obligated by law to make a sexual toy of my penis, the actual size of it when it's completely untucked. Whether it's 50 inches, 60 inches, 70 inches, no matter what. I probably own some novelty stores or maybe some toy manufacturing. And I know they possibly already make a sex doll of me. I'm not sure if it's 100% anatomically correct in the penis area or the balls area. But there is if I own a company or even if I don't own a company, we need to create a company to make a sex toy penis replica of my penis when it is completely untouched. Completely untucked. Untucked, you know what I mean? So in reference to the actual physical size, the girth, the length, and plus not circumcised, which is very important. Jewish, Catholic, family history, Jewish history, I'm not circumcised, which I'm not going to be. Very important information. So, there's particular accessories that can be put on that for that particular point. But in reference to, my foreskin is very important to me, of course, forever. But in reference to a sex toy dildo vibrator that is a exact replica of my penis size. I don't know if they have, my father's penis was very large too. So in reference to, I don't know if I would get the revenues of that too. In reference to a replica of my father's penis size, And I'm not sure if we have I'm sure somebody has the detailed information of my grandfather's penis size too. They might come in a box, a trio box or something, Well, grandpa's on both sides, But it's for factual history documentation, basically. And there's going to be some other sex toy accessories and sex toy products that are going to be for male and female, So there's going to be some designing or some acknowledgments of things. They might have character names, but in reference to my father and my grandfather and me, there'll be male names probably, obviously, But in reference to, in reference to penises, there'll be some particular name. And, they'll probably make some male toys for men in the female area for the sex toy industry, which will have like a copywritten name that I'm the owner of that particular product. Very important. But there is supposedly a sex doll that has two penises that come along with it. Like one's like the actual historic size of my penis, and then one's a smaller replica for shorter length activity, I guess. Meaning in reference to certain particulars. But there has to be there's supposed to be a statue and possibly the Smithsonian and the Getty Museum of my actual penis untucked. And, it hangs past my legs. It's supposed to hang past my legs. And these government people have tried to steal it based on their hatred or their race and religion. And, my family history is royal family history of America. And, there's European history and Asian history too. And, I'm famously known as Long Duck Dong, I guess you'd say. as what has been mentioned in reference to when I was little too, because Asia acknowledged my long penis, and it's in history notes too, and history of the Treasury. So in reference to government trying to steal any of my penis, those people would have to get prosecuted for trying to steal my identity. You guys know that, right? Even the White House has records of my penis when I was a little boy, or when I was little. I'm the only child of my mother and father, and the sex toy industry needs the information. This is where we'd find out. And the Guinness Book of World Records has possibly some information too. So it's very important that that information be known for my protection and for protection of my family history. So nobody could say, oh, they thought you were this man's son because he thought you had a little penis. No, I was born with one of the largest penises in the world. And it's documented. So there needs to be somebody say, oh, what about your mother? Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to make any female sex toy for men. It probably wouldn't have my mother's name on it. I don't think so. I'm not sure. We'll have to think about that. Just because, whatever might be certain acknowledgments. But in the museum, there's supposed to be a museum where there's supposed to be a statue of my grandfathers on both sides, statue of my, mother and father. We might have to make a separate, I don't know if the Smithsonian or the Getty Museum or any of the museums have room for a historic family tree of my family. I'm not sure if they have that much room because, they come from a small family, but, the larger history of the family, even kind of dates back further to even Mozart, Beethoven, my uncle in China, or uncle in Korea, uncle in Japan, uncle in England, France, and Italy. So it'd be like some of the things might not be all statues because it would probably be, probably over 100 people, obviously, or something, or 50. Depends on generation. So we have to see what the history of things are, in reference to making statues, as opposed to plaques or paintings or particular acknowledgments of my family tree, of which I'm the last of the family tree of my mother and father. Well, that satellite man tried to kill me. He tried to murder me earlier with that Philly cheesesteak satellite transmission. They've done that to me when I was eating a Domino's pizza, Philly cheesesteak pizza in Indianapolis. They tried to murder me with a satellite. So it's kind of like called the Philly cheesesteak satellite, Yeah, it's pretty serious. They did that to me and I had to sit down and they tried to murder me. They did that at the other apartment where I stayed out here in Indianapolis. Yeah. The government knows which person is doing that too, but the government's covering it up. The government is covering up all. And somebody needs to. I guess somebody'd say, they need to talk to the Indianapolis news and law enforcement and see all the reports that they have about people attacking me, people trying to hurt me, people stealing from me, people trespassing on me, people abusing me. Somebody needs to check the history timeline of what records the Indianapolis Police Department has about any monies that my mother had sent to Indianapolis, if there's any police records of my mother reporting people stealing the monies, people not delivering the monies. And all police stations in all 50 states needs to know all information, meaning like it all needs to be sent and delivered, whether it's emailed or whatever, a list of all the history of people stealing money that my mother tried to send, exotic cars or, valuable cars or Rolls Royces or Ferraris and Lamborghinis and other cars that law enforcement needs to know. Some of them had LoJack on them too. And somebody stole my Lamborghini in Indianapolis back in the 80s. I haven't seen it. Like my mother sent one and it got stolen. Never even seen it. So, very important. Or if they stole Ferraris or they're hiding the vehicles or whatever, And somebody had said at one time that the FBI in California was involved in stealing the cars that my mother had tried to send to me when I was held hostage in Indianapolis for, she sent the cars for protection reasons because they're valuable cars and, they were types of cars that other people in Indianapolis did not own, or there wasn't people very much that own those types of cars. Kind of like unique kind of cars, I mean, you see them now. There's some that are more known, and they're classics or certain exotic sports cars or Rolls Royces or anything like that. So they need a list of all the cars these people have stolen when they've tried to send me cars to Indianapolis for me to drive to another city and state. Reference to exotic cars or, luxury cars. Lots of things of importance. The satellite man tried to hurt me at it was like 4:45 or something, 5 o'clock or whatever. No, it'd be like 4:45, 4:30 or somewhere on there. This morning, 5:23, when that satellite man was doing that. I mean, the other satellite mans are hurting me too, but that one satellite when there's no way they know they're trying to murder me. They need to get charged no matter what. They're messing with my throat and my voice right now. And they've damaged my upper lip. My upper lip and teeth are documented. The role protocols of documentation of my identity. I'd had injuries from government thieves before. I was in a coma when I was little. And any person that's got a smart-ass thing to say, they'll say something like, well, maybe it's because your father got rich and he didn't pay the German Nazi party your family wealth. My father was not obligated to pay anybody any of the shit that they've tried to make up. And don't forget, my father loaned money to the Democrats and the Republicans back in the day. He loaned them monies on both sides of the political parties. And basic information on some things, And the government has never paid it back. Anyway, so look up that information. And back to the point of the novelty toy. There has to be, I don't know if one of the novelty toy stores, which people get in contact with them. But the sex toy manufacturer, somebody needs to make one kind of quick to put it in the store, maybe Larry Flint's store, or the Hustler store, or the Lion's Den, or I don't know if Adam and Eve, or whichever, But there is supposed to be a sex doll that's already been out for people to buy. I haven't received any revenues from anywhere, of anything. Lots of things of importance. Low farms in California and properties and businesses. My parents was always, getting into friendly business and different types of businesses and marketing of products and things. So it's very important, I need to visit my farms in California, the farms of my father and mother and grandparents. Hello, Asian Americans. I don't know if the Asian Americans have went around California asking people what companies I own, what properties I own, or businesses, and seeing which people are denying my ownership. That's important too. You can do that in Indiana too. The Asian American attorneys can come over to Indianapolis and go to all the businesses and stores, and they can videotape it and get the response whether I'm the owner of such and such company. And if they deny my identity or ownership, of course it would be court cases. And, if they haven't tried to send me some money or information, then that would be court cases too. But some of them probably tried to send some information or letters or something, but I haven't received nothing. Lots of things of importance.